Hey guys, welcome to episode number 5 of I Teach You the Internet. I'm Tony.
I'm Jenna.
Hey Jenna, what's up?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
Last week was nothing, and then it turned out to be a lot, and now you say a lot, so I'm expecting a huge amount. What do you mean a lot? What's up?
What I mean by a lot is, something.
I love it. We're going to go with that. Something is up. That's what this show's about. This show's about something, nothing, everything, all the things, whatever we find. But it's for sure about us talking about the internet, technology. That's what everyone's here for because we're experts in this field.
Yeah, experts, using my air quotes.
Yeah. Well, you have... You're a young lady, but you have how many years of technology expertise do you have?
The first year I've ever had my own electronic was probably, I don't know, 6 years old.
Okay, what was that? What piece of technology?
My iPad mini.
Okay. You've had that for that long?
Yeah.
No way.
It was free.
It was free?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the iPad mini? Did you just take it?
No, when my parents, because they work with, dangerous stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If people don't get hurt for, a while.
Yeah.
You get free stuff, and the iPad minis were free.
Awesome. Where do you remember using that then? That was, half your lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that technology usage?
I used it a lot because I was super excited. I used to always use my mom's iPad and stuff. And I just download 500 games until my storage was full.
Yeah, I remember you specifically playing Cut the Rope, I think.
OMG, I still have that. I love Cut the Rope. I love it.
Okay, so yeah, a long time of getting into the technology. I remember you had a Kindle Fire, I think.
Yeah. Actually, maybe that was the first. That was before my iPad.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I don't know when I got it, but it was before my iPad for sure.
Okay, so you're definitely an expert. You have 5+ years of technology knowledge. I'm going on, let me see, my first computer, I think I was 6.
Really?
And a family member lent us an original Macintosh, an old.
I don't know what that is.
An old Mac computer. And it was the first all in one, all in the monitor kind of computer. Because,
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes computers are this part tower and then this part monitor, right?
Yeah.
This was all in one, and it was the first very personal home computer, because before that computers were only in offices or businesses or schools. But this was the first one that you would take to your home. And all I did was use paint programs and a little bit of typing. And then we had to give that one back. Maybe it was just a loaner. Then I had Windows PCs that I would always break because I would tinker with them. But they were always hand-me-downs that people didn't need anymore because at this time computers are so expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're still expensive, but.
Well, so my first new computer, I remember we went to Best Buy. I think my grandfather bought it for me. I think it was $600 or $700. And
that's expensive.
And that was the cheapest. And
still expensive.
Yeah, see? And the hard drive I think was 12 gigabytes or 20 gigabytes.
I don't know how much that is because gigabytes.
Yeah, so this is another interesting point. it's so funny because I think about this. When I was learning technology, that's when that was the era of the personal computer really becoming popular. So you had to learn the technical stuff to know what you're supposed to buy. But you're in this era of all of those like little technical things don't really matter because everything's pretty good. So you're in the era of like content and applications. Like that's important. Can I run my apps? Can my battery last long enough? Like that's what really matters.
That's not my phone.
Yeah.
The battery on Samsung is terrible. That's why I always have a portable charger. Sorry, I bring that
No,
up.
no, that's cool. I get that. That's another thing of like the difference between the different operating systems and how they manage power and the different makers, right? So like I bet your phone is at least 32 gigabytes of memory of storage,
Yeah, probably.
which is basically I think what at most phones now start at. Like my current iPhone is actually the biggest one, or when I got it, it was the biggest. It's 128 gigabytes. So my
That's a lot.
yeah, my computer was only I think it was 12.
Really?
Yeah, you
Oh my
couldn't
gosh.
like do anything, and my internet like okay, so the RAM on your phone is probably I don't know how phones are, but I think it's like 2 or 4 gigs of RAM, which is how fast it could work.
Oh.
My computer was like half a gig.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like the resolution of your phone is like really really high, and the resolution of my monitor was really low, but it was still great, you know. And I would use it, and I would go online and look at pictures of wrestlers. I don't know what I was doing at the time. Like, yeah, you would just like look up like my favorite bands and stuff, go to their websites, and then download wallpapers from them and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what I was doing at that time. But you like, I mean, last week we talked about the Chromebook and stuff, but you don't really have a strong like PC connection, right? Like you never really learned.
I never really. I mean, I never really like learned how to use a computer. It's just, I don't know. I just did it.
Yeah, I feel like with nowadays, you just have to know apps.
Yeah.
Like
apps help you with everything.
Right, like
Yeah.
you just run the app, right? You download, install, and run.
Yeah.
I mean, for my age, I used to have to like, installing an app was always like a little bit of work, and like, downloading the installer, unzipping it, decompressing.
Unzipping?
Yeah,
I'm
running
confused.
the executable. Where should the file download to? Should it go to the C drive? Where should it go? Let's start this. Go make a sandwich, because it's going to take a while. And I made a lot of sandwiches, and that's why I got fat, because my computer was slow. It was a lot of sandwich making. So, I mean, that was the reality then, and we're gonna get into that. I'm definitely gonna plan something where I'm gonna like take you down memory lane and show you my old cruddy computer beginnings. But that was one reality. But I think this week we need to step into the virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
Jenna, don't go away. Stay with me. Don't get sucked into it. Virtual reality. I bring this up because when you got your new phone, you also got a new bit of gear, right?
Yeah.
Do you like what I did there? I said gear. Tell us what you got.
So I got a virtual reality headset.
And that is from Samsung, right?
Yes.
It's the Gear VR. Is that what it's called? Do you know?
Yeah. Gear VR.
Okay. So was this something you wanted, or was it kind of a nice bonus or something?
It was something I wanted for a while.
Why?
Like when I don't know. It just looked cool and electronic. I don't know. I just wanted it.
Okay, what did you know of VR? Did you ever try one before you got it?
No.
Okay.
I've never seen one in person. I've never seen a box until I don't know when I got it. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
No.
2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Something around those.
Yeah.
lines
So,
or whatever.
what did you think VR even was? I mean, what were you expecting?
I knew like VR stood for virtual reality. How I knew that, I don't know. But I just heard that it's like a 360 thing where like you could walk around and you could just see everything, and I don't know, it's just cool.
And you're like sold. I wanna see all around me. I'm tired of
Yeah.
just seeing in front of me. I want to see everything. I want to turn my head. Okay, so virtual reality. Here's how I know it. It's kind of been around for a little while, and it got really popular in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I think what it meant to us back then was it just meant like digital stuff.
Yeah.
Like computer programs is virtual reality. Or like,
Really?
like, did you ever see the Terminator movies?
No.
Okay. Like early, like CGI?
I don't know what that stands for.
Early computer generated images, like special effects in movies.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Early stuff like that was kind of like what our first ideas of virtual reality was. Like before, you go see Harry Potter and everything looks so realistic, right, and perfect. But we know that they use like computers to make all the dragons, right? I don't know if there's dragons in Harry Potter.
I don't know either.
But back then, like, they can never get that good with the special effects. So everything kind of...
Take Batman as the Batman movie as an example from that back then.
Which Batman movie?
It was, I don't know, it's the one where he looks so weird and, like, his blue is like, his black is like blue. And he's in, like, this weird, like, gray suit. And, like, and I think we watched it one time when I went over to your house.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was the 1960s Batman. That was like way before virtual reality. That's just bad visual effects. But you're on the right track because like in the 80s, that's when the late 80s, that's when computer graphics started coming into movies and like Tron and stuff like that. There was an old Tron movie, and computer images had to look so simple because they couldn't do really cool stuff yet. So everything just looked like some triangle shapes, like robots and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this was the beginning of like, whoa, what's this like computer world we can create? It's another reality, and it's not real, it's virtual reality. And that's where I think like it started coming about. And then it really started with games.
Yeah, I could see that.
So we would go to the malls, and there would be these virtual reality areas that you would pay like $8 for like 10 minutes, and you'd go into this like circle, and they'd put a giant helmet on you.
Oh, I saw that at the mall the other day.
What are you talking about? Tell me, what do you mean?
It's like this, it's like, is there like a seat in it, and they put something on your head?
So yeah, sometimes there's seats, yeah.
And then, like, you pay to, like, do virtual reality and stuff or something?
Yeah, so this is the same thing. It just came back again.
Oh. I don't understand. Like, everyone, like, wants new things, and then there's, like, this other half where, like, I want, like, the old stuff. Like, take Polaroid cameras as an example. Those used to be just, like, the regular camera, and now some people want, like, big cameras, and then... But now there's a new camera that's a Polaroid camera that just, the picture, it comes out. And, like, I don't understand. It's the same thing for virtual reality. Like, they want new stuff, but people want the old stuff. I don't understand that.
So here's what I think. I think, and especially now we're living in a time where technology is moving really, really, really quickly. Faster than ever, and it's only going to get faster. So everything that we want to experience, we could kind of experience virtually. I've never been to Italy, but I could put on a virtual gear thing and like walk around an Italian museum, right? Like,
I actually did that the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Italy and I went to a museum. That's so funny that you say that. That's actually creepy that you said that.
Yeah, I promise I wasn't watching you because I don't have any VR. Tell me about that experience.
So there was this app on there that you could download, and it's just like it's called like Go Places and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just go into the search bar, search stuff up, and just walk around, and it's cool.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. Like you can do things that 10 years ago, even just 10 years ago, we couldn't really do, you know? And
Yeah.
think about all the people who like saved up money so they could go to Italy and look in the museum, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting faster and faster to experience over almost anything we want. You know, we can get
Mhm.
any song instantly. We can get any movie instantly. So
Yeah.
then there comes like a backlash where people go, wait. I don't, you know, if you take your virtual reality helmet off, then you look in your room and you're like, I don't have anything in here. It's just a big empty room. So I don't have any books. I don't have any DVDs or Blu-rays. Like I don't have any records. So I think people kind of want something to hold sometimes for
Yeah.
nostalgia. Do you feel that way ever?
I don't know, because like I don't know. I think the technology is better now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want a Kindle Fire anymore. Like I'll take it anytime, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not like my number one thing. You know?
Mm-hmm. Like it's really interesting because one time I heard, and this is all about, I think, our virtual reality talk. I was listening to a really smart lady give a speech, and she talked about how she said people are on their phones too much, and that people aren't in the real reality, that their mind is in a different reality.
Yeah.
And she said that was like, she was saying this was a really horrible thing. What do you think about that as someone who spends a lot of time in your virtual world?
First of all, if she thinks that we spend too much time on our phone, blame Niantic, not us. But I don't know. I guess so, because there's a lot of things that people are missing when they're like staring at their screens.
Like what? What's so great about real reality?
Okay, so like example, the other day I saw
Mm-hmm.
a shooting star. If you were just staring at your screen, you would never see that.
Right. Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. Like there's miracles happening all around us that are sometimes really small or really big that if we're not looking in the right place, we can miss.
Yeah.
But Jenna, you just went to Italy. I've never been to Italy. That's awesome. You walked around in Italy in a museum. Like
It was pretty cool.
now go back 200 years to like George Washington or Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson loved going to France all the time. And you tell him, hey, Mr. Jefferson, check this out. I'm going to go to France. And you just put the thing on, and he'll be like, oh, snaps, that's the coolest thing of all time.
Now we're talking about time traveling. I'm joking.
Yeah, well, but what's the, like, yeah, but think about it. Isn't that a miracle too? Do you think the virtual world is as important as the real world? What do you think?
Like, do you mean just like cell phones in general, or are you talking about
Yeah,
like
when I say
Gear
virtual
VR?
world, I mean like our digital life. Like
Okay.
you're Jenna, 11-year-old girl in the suburbs of Chicago. But like you have this other kind of digital life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But it depends, like, what you mean. So, like, is a Gear VR more important than, like, real world? No. But is a cell phone? It's not as important as the real world, but it is, like, very important because, like, example, I can't catch Pokemon. I'm joking.
Right.
But like if someone like really needs help or really needs to call someone or really needs to look something up because like something crazy is happening, like a
Right.
cell phone can be like useful for that, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think for sure like there's definitely those kind of real reasons where this is like the best tool we could have, right? Where we have
Yeah.
infinite knowledge at our fingertips.
Yeah.
and this is, yeah, and then we're getting so smart now in our show, right? We're just going to
Yeah.
talk about our Samsung VR and the times I used to go to the mall and pay $8 and pretend to drive a little robot around in a horrible. Oh, it was kind of cool though because you would pick your name. Like my
Mm-hmm.
name would be like Mad Dog, and and then they would call you and your friends, and you would get into this pod, and they would close it, and you would like walk around like dunk, 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 and you would see the other characters, and at the end they would print out like your results, like Mad Dog came in last place, and and that was a lot of fun. But right, like there's a lot of people who are caring so much about virtual reality, and I think a lot of people sometimes kind of tease them or think that they're so disconnected from real reality.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So like if someone's like, I'm connecting every single like thing with reality. Like this pencil example, like, oh my gosh, that pencil looks like this pencil that I saw in virtual reality. Like that's a little bit too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, this is the beginnings of it. Don't you think in the future, like, do you imagine, hey, instead of going to meet up with your friends to go see a movie, everyone will go home, put on their virtual reality headsets, meet up in virtual reality, and virtually see the movie?
That would actually be like really cool.
So you think that's cool?
I think it's cool, but I think that it would be wrong because I don't know. You're just not like seeing everything, you know. Like example, like I've been to many movie theaters, but I'm just saying this. Like, would you rather just see a fake movie theater or actually go there and like I see it like in virtual reality, like you can experience it, but like in real life, not really, you know.
Right.
Like, you're not going to pick up a drink in virtual reality and start, like, drinking, like, 500 cans of Coke. You could do that in real life.
Right. But here's the thing. What if I pay $10 to go see a real movie and somebody is talking throughout the whole movie in real reality?
Oh.
But in virtual reality, that would never happen. I could just turn that off.
So, like, I could see virtual reality being helpful because, like, let's say, example, you just went to a movie and someone talked the entire time, and, like, hey, you got to experience, like, going to a movie theater, maybe not seeing the movie, but, like, eating all the popcorn, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, if you really want to, like, see the movie, you could just, after that, you could just, like, go home and, like, listen to it.
I see what your point, like, the experience of everything is what's important.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what people are thinking when they want, like, those Polaroid pictures again.
Yeah.
Like,
my friend has one. It's so cool.
Like, the picture doesn't look as good as the one on your phone. And I can't tweet it, and I can't Instagram share it. Like, it's actually kind of worse. And now I have to take care of this paper and make sure it doesn't burn in a fire. Like, like I have to file it away and remember where it is. So in a lot of ways, it's worse, right? It's not so handy, but it's an experience that people kind of treasure more.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like, I don't know. Even though, like, the example of the Polaroid camera is, I'm saying example a lot. Okay, okay. So the Polaroid camera, like, the pictures, like, are worse, but it's just so cool because, like, example, like, I'm not really sure. Probably not, but I think there were better cameras than a Polaroid camera when I was born.
Yep.
So, like, for me to, like, it's, again, about the experience. Like, you get to experience something that you weren't even, like, born into, you know?
Yeah. I get that a lot, too, because, like, sometimes I like to listen to like, vinyl records on a record player.
Yeah.
And records have been around for 100 and I don't know how many years, 150 years. And they were super popular in the 50s and 60s, right? The 70s. And they were way done by the time I was born, but for some reason, me and my other sister like to sometimes buy records and play them, even though it's more work, more money. It's hard to store. They don't
Yeah.
sound as good usually. Why would we do it? I don't know. It's this weird experience to connect to something that even was finished before I even came around.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the experience. Like,
Right.
Gear VR, the experience. Like, you can't, you could see one maybe, but like, you can't like actually use a Polaroid camera. You can't actually use a record. So like, it's all about the experience.
What if you like put the VR and then like now you play the record in virtual reality and you pick up a virtual reality Polaroid and you take a virtual picture and that sends it to your phone automatically. It's about experience, but I think maybe also about connections. Like, oh, I'm connecting to something before me. Like it's like time travel. Like, oh, I'm experiencing this weird, funny thing. So it gives us a lot to think about. It's weird. I just I do think like, you know, I just don't like what that lady said who I heard, because I felt like, first of all, she was way old. So she's trying to
Well, it makes
understand
sense.
even you and I have a big difference, right? In the way we both use technology, but we use social media completely differently.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ever like judge the way you use it, even though like I might tease you. I'm like, are you really putting on the dog filter? Like, what's the point? But I can't judge it because like you're connecting in a different way that is natural to you, right?
Yeah, like, I'm used to it, like, I like it, and, like, you're not used to it. You might not like it, but, like, it's just what I'm used to, you know? Like, I don't know, example, what are you used to? Let me think.
Like, I'm used to having MP3s. Do you have any MP3s?
Is that like an iPod?
MP3 is a music file. Like, it's the song.
Like, on your phone?
Yeah, or anywhere. So
So confused.
Let's go back up. Okay. Do you know what a file format thing is?
No.
Do you like okay, let's go back. So when you have a document on a computer, it needs to end in a file name like
that's
.doc,
yeah.
.exe, .mp3.
Yeah.
So 15 years ago or something, I don't even know how long, I had some CDs, you put them in a computer and you ripped them, which means you took them and you stored them onto your 12 gigabyte hard drive as MP3 files. So I've had an MP3, I've had my library in iTunes. That library is like many, many years. I've been building that. And then I sync it manually to my phone. I actually like plug my phone into my computer with a USB cable and transfer those songs to there.
So no, I'm not used to that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you listen to music if you want to hear music?
I plug in my headphones and go to iHeartRadio.
There, so you don't actually own any music, probably.
Actually, I do. There's some. I use iHeartRadio, and there are some like songs that you could like make playlists. Like if you like buy a song or something, you can make a playlist and stuff. So I have a few playlists.
Okay, and you actually like paid, and you got.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you have like access to that thing. Like to me, what's really important though is my years of 30 gigabytes of music MP3s. And to you, it's like, what are you doing, you crazy old man? All the stuff's on YouTube. You like,
yeah.
So that's an example for you of something I'm totally used to, and I'm probably gonna always have my MP3 library.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get one.
Yeah, you might when you have some extra allowance, get a Spotify account or a YouTube, Google Music Play or whatever they do. And you could say, I could just play any song I want for right here. I don't need to own it anywhere.
Yeah.
And so your music library is like more virtual than mine. Mine is kind of physical. even though it's digital. None of
Oh,
this
that
makes sense,
rhymes.
but it all makes sense. This podcast is completely virtual.
Yeah. Like, we're virtually talking right now.
Yeah. One day we're going to have a show where people are going to put on all their Samsung Gear VRs and join us in a virtual theater, and we'll do this live.
That would be the coolest thing ever. Like, I would love that. That'd be cool.
Well, that's going to happen. I mean, like, there's going to be, like, virtual concerts and all those things.
Apple, are you hearing this? You gotta make some.
Yeah, but it'll be so expensive when it comes from them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the companies are. Would Samsung be cheaper? I don't know.
Samsung does the cheapest one right now. The cheapest good one is Samsung. Facebook is doing their thing. They have their Oculus Rift, yeah. But theirs is like $400, $400 or $500, and it requires like a really strong PC. So right now we're on like the second generation or the second wave of like VR is cool again. In the early 90s, it was cool, and I would go to the mall and play these VR games. You know, Nintendo made a virtual reality system.
Really?
It was called Virtual Boy. And
I've never heard of that.
Because it was a big piece of garbage. It was this big red binocular thing that had a tripod. You put it on a table, and you stick your sweaty head in it, like I did with all the other kids at the toy store. And the graphics were like Game Boy. Like old Game Boy, but it was all red and black.
Oh, that's weird.
And it gave people horrible headaches. And it sold less than 1 million.
Oh, really?
And for video games, that's really, really, really bad. Like, so.
That's really good, but
so they sold them like really, then they had to sell them for $20 because they had to get rid of them. So now virtual reality is coming back.
You know what I really want, but this doesn't really have to do with like virtual reality or the headset. I really want a Nintendo Switch.
Okay, let's close the show talking about new hotness.
Okay.
Why do you want the Nintendo Switch? That came out last week.
Because I don't know, it's just so cool. Like you could like take off the ends or like and put them onto like controllers and stuff. And I really want the mini games. Oh my god, the mini games are to die for. They're so fun.
Okay, so here's what's awesome. I listen to like other video game podcasts from like journalists and like people who played games their whole life, and they're all like, they dig it, but like there's a lot of things about it they don't think is so cool and stuff, and they find all the problems in it. But that's because they have so much experience with games and they're looking very hard. And I was wondering too, I'm like, are regular people excited about the Switch? But you're seeing it and you're thinking it's cool, it's a cool thing?
If I'm considered regular,
like for the
yes,
video,
it's cool.
Yeah, from the video game world, you're not like super involved in like, you're like an outsider.
Yeah, for like video games, video games, I'm not like super into, but I do play a few.
Yeah, I want the Switch too. I think I hopefully will get it like sometime this year. But yeah, then we could snap the things off. There's just so many things with it that look a little like. There's a lot going on in that system.
I know, like if someone is like just new to like DS's, like probably like, what is this?
There's like a lot of components, and all the extra controllers are super expensive.
Oh, yeah, they are. Like, if you could take off the tablet thingamajig or whatever it is, and you can put it on, like, controllers. So if you want to, like, hook it up to, like, your TV or your computer, you would use, like, a controller thing.
Yeah, like a traditional thing, and then snap it back. And then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
And there's this one game that, oh my gosh, I've seen everywhere on YouTube, and they're so cool. So, like, you take off the tablet, and you put on your computer, I think it is. It's called. Oh, what is it?
Is it 1-2 switch?
Oh yeah. 1-2 switch, and where is that like a bunch of mini games? I don't know.
There's a bunch of little like. Sometimes you're mostly not even looking at the screen.
Yeah, so like so one person stands across from each other, and then you look at each other in the eye, and then you like shoot a gun, and like whoever like gets it up first wins, and it's just so cool.
Yeah.
I really want to play that one.
Yeah, that it's funny because like all the video game hardcore people are like, "Oh, that game looks so lame," or "I don't think it's gonna work."
Yeah.
But if people are super excited about it, maybe it's gonna work. It's cool, and then it's also like portable, kind of, so you could take it around and just take the
Like-
Switch to places.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about it is like if you have like a really like small space in your bag and you really can't like fit the entire thing, you could take off the things and you could put that in and you could put it in front of it. Like it's also like really portable. I like that.
Yeah. So, and that's the kind. And think about that game. That's kind of like augmented reality too, right?
I don't know what augmented means.
Augmented reality. Now that's what we're using in Pokemon Go. When you see the Pokemon in the real world, that's AR. That's augmented reality. That's what
it stands for.
That's the mix of virtual things in the physical world. Anytime you hold up like a device and look through it and see the world behind it and the digital stuff on it, that's AR. That's augmented reality.
Oh, okay. I see. So, like, if I click on a Pokemon, put it on AR mode, and, like, hold up, I don't know, my phone. Not my phone. I'm on my phone. My Beats headphones.
Yeah.
I would see the Pokemon, and, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
It's 2 weeks in a row you mentioned your Beats headphones. Are they secretly paying you?
No.
And if they are, can you tell them to please send me a pair of Beats headphones?
I will. I'm actually working for them.
Okay. Hashtag ad. I think we have to say that.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag spons.
Is that a spons?
Yeah, sponsorship.
Okay, we don't want to get in trouble like Kim Kardashian. She got in trouble, right?
Really? I don't know. I don't know about it.
Yeah, because she would tweet about things, but she wouldn't say she was sponsored by them.
Oh.
And in America, there's a government organization called the FCC, and you cannot lie about those things. FCC or FCC?
That was a joke. I promise that was a joke.
Hashtag please sponsor.
Yeah.
Please sponsor ITYTI the Internet because the world is listening to us, Jenna. This show's awesome.
Hey, you in the world. I see you. I don't know.
And we're watching you virtually.
Yeah. Somehow.
Okay, so I'm going to let you go and put back your Samsung Gear. Okay, could you give us like from 0 to 5 stars on Gear VR? How would you rate it?
Definitely 5 stars, definitely.
What?
Yeah. Like, it's amazing. It is so cool.
What's the coolest thing you've done on it?
I don't know. Probably go to Japan. Wait, actually, no. I've ridden, like, so many roller coasters on there, and it's just so cool.
Do you ever get sick?
No, but I do get dizzy sometimes. That's the only thing I like, but not all the time. It's not one thing to make you, like, super dizzy. Only sometimes. But, like, on the roller coasters, if you, like, sit down, you literally feel like you're upside down. Like, it feels like you're there. Like, it's so cool.
Have you gotten any, like, I think one time I tried it, I was with the Avengers, like Iron Man, Captain America and stuff. Have you done any of that stuff?
No. There's, like, the thing is, there's an app that connects to your phone, which puts it on the virtual reality headset, and, like, a lot of it costs money, but there are a lot of things that are free.
Boo. Virtual reality is more expensive than real reality. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay, so Jenna loves Samsung Gear VR, not hashtag ad. Okay.
Once again, it was a joke.
It was a joke.
Don't hurt me.
They're not going to hurt. They're going to sue us. But that's why we need everybody to download our show. They need to go to saywhatradio.com. They need to open up their podcast app and search I Teach You the Internet. They'll find us. They'll listen. We'll get so many listeners. We're going to be able to sell advertisement spots. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and Niantic, if you're listening to this again and you listen to our Pokemon Go thing, you should definitely comment, I am Niantic. I am the CEO of Niantic.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
should definitely do.
Before I go, can I mention something about
Yes.
Pokemon Go? There's a leak, and shiny Pokemon might come out in April, and then Gen 3 might come out in the summer, and then
What?
I think trading is like at the end of the year. Oh yeah, and breeding might be our next update, possibly. Didn't say that.
Yeah, you didn't hear that here, folks. On I Teach You the Internet. Share with your friends and family. Awesome episode, Jenna. Say bye.